Hello. Welcome everybody to the first Mega64 podcast of 2025.
Hello.
We're back.
We are back and better than ever in the new year. Welcome, everyone. Derrick.
Yes. Sean.
I noticed you're wearing a mask. I was just checking on my friend here and seeing how are you feeling?
Yeah.
How is everything going for you?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good and refreshed for the new year. Yeah, but I was, people maybe aren't attuned to what happened to you over our break. We've been gone for
2
since
weeks.
the Christmas cast.
Yeah.
So, it's been a little bit since they've seen you, and you've gone through an event since then. And I, didn't know if you want to talk about it or if that's, too personal. I don't know,
Yeah, in the break, we were kind of deciding, if you were well enough to proceed,
to be on the podcast, to be on camera.
Yeah, we were surprised, honestly. If you wanted to stay home today, we would have understood. It's really honorable that you came.
Hell no, I ain't staying home today.
Okay, all right.
But I do appreciate you giving me the honorable title. The Honorable Derrick Acosta is here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And happy to be here. I couldn't let my friends down. I couldn't let the fans down out there, regardless of anything that may have happened to me over the break. Mega64 takes priority.
Wow.
Wouldn't we all agree?
I would agree.
I don't think anybody here has ever missed Mega64 due to an injury or a medical condition.
No.
I don't know. When I kind of tore my ass on that scooter in 2010. I didn't come in. I was like, fuck this.
No,
Did you go to the doctor for your ass tearing?
No.
It's
It's just I had a sore hole, and I just stayed. Well, I'm just saying I stayed home.
So
I don't know if that's
I took
related
that
to the
opportunity.
scooter. That could be anything could cause that.
Yeah, anything.
Sitting
Yeah,
down,
I guess.
too hard.
I mean, two-way street. Anything could happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, for those of you who don't know out there, maybe you haven't been following social media, but yes, I did suffer an accident on December 26th, the day after Christmas.
Oh.
And this is not a joke, I was in the hospital for 3 days, and I have been recovering ever since. It's been about 2 weeks. It's been about 2 weeks and 2 days, about 16 days since the accident happened. And on this episode of the Mega64 podcast, one of the things we're going to talk about is what happened to me, to Derrick, over the break.
Let the people know, yeah.
Let them know.
These guys said it'd be funny if I wore a mask to hide my face, doing like a Willy Wonka bit.
I wanted you to do the grand reveal because those of you who don't know, Derrick fell and broke his face. It wasn't the accident wasn't like a car accident. It was like a traumatic fall and you broke your face. So I was like, well, shit, we should hide it and have the grand reveal of your new face. But if you don't want to do
new face.
All right, so then let's do the grand
I'll get on
reveal
Kev Cam.
of my new face.
Okay, Sean, get it.
We don't need to be on Kev Cam. We don't need to get that close.
Oh my God. I can't
Oh my
wait.
God. And
If you're eating at home,
what is it?
maybe
What
take
is
a
it
break right
gonna
now.
What?
If you're driving, you might want to pull over, folks.
Okay. I see an eye.
Ooh, not good so far.
Oh my
Oh.
God.
Oh.
Wait,
you look like Derrick.
like
Oh,
Derrick.
he looks the same.
You're
I thought he
Derrick
was gonna-
Acosta.
I thought we were going to see something
look-
crazy.
you
There
look
it
like
is.
yourself.
Well, you may notice that I have a bruised nose that is discolored, that is swelling, and I have a silicone patch here on my head.
Oh, that's silicone.
Yeah, I got a silicone patch to help this 2-inch scar
Ooh.
Oh.
heal across the center of my forehead, which sucks
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I'm been practicing getting into the acting game out there. I just got new headshots
Which are
in December.
awesome for the record. They look great.
Thanks.
It's
I don't know if
kinda-
I could use them now because
Yeah, it's the same face.
No. Yeah, they're gonna match it.
No, I think we all when we got your message over the break, I truly didn't know what we were going to be in for. Like, your message was just like, first of all, I was trying to get a hold of Derrick for like 3 days after Christmas. I was like, he's not responding about this thing. I need to know, like, yo, what's up? Yo, you ducking me? What's going on?
And then me?
I was going to send one more message, reach over to the phone, and then, and it was about what happened. It was like, well, ain't I a stinker? I couldn't believe it. And the way that you messaged it, I was like, can he walk? I don't know. Level to the level of this. So yeah, when you came in after the break, I was like, oh, you same old. I mean,
well, your first mistake was messaging me the day after Christmas.
I wasn't
going to respond to you regardless of what I was doing. But the fact that I was unconscious in the hospital was just a nice excuse to not have to do it.
But yeah, I didn't know if it was like you lost teeth or what. I mean, it sounded terrible what happened. So
that's yet to be determined.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, on December 26th, day after Christmas, I was going for a hike with Joy. We were in Mission Trails. In fact, if you want to know what Mission Trails looks like, theme song.
Oh.
That really did not occur to me we shot that in Mission
that's
Trails.
like the same spot.
That's where you
were.
That's
like 500 yards from when.
Just to give people context, that is Mission Trails. It's an open space reserve here in San Diego. How big is Mission Trails?
It's big.
Huge.
It's really big.
Yeah,
because it spans from like, dude, it goes like all the way to like the Miramar base. Like it's a big.
It's miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
You can go like bike riding, camping out there, and you can spend days out there. I was just doing a little walk out there. With Joy, and we were about there's something called the Visitor Center Loop, which is a 3-mile hike. I think we were about 1.5 miles, maybe 3/4 of a mile away from the parking lot, and just on a little trail. And there was a little hill there. And sometimes when I'm hiking, I just like to challenge myself, like, oh, I'll run up that hill. Oh, I'll climb this big boulder.
Can we call Derrick Big Boss now?
Somebody talking
to us? Can we help you with something?
Sir?
We got text-to-speech on here. Sorry for the distraction.
Sir, there's a British gentleman that we've been testing lately around here, so he might have gotten left on.
So I saw this little hillside, little steep side of a hill, and I told Joy, I was like, wait here. I just want to run up this thing. I want to jog up it just to get the heartbeat going.
Yeah.
And I ran up this hill. And I grew up around here, hiking and exploring hills. So, I'm no stranger to like climbing on shit.
You've done this 10,000 times.
Yeah, and as I'm running up it, there's a little bit of soft sand, that I'm like stepping to get up, and I get like halfway up it, maybe like 15 feet up this little hillside. And then Joy goes, how are you going to get down now? And I'm like, oh, I'll just take it slow, because what you're supposed to do is kind of like shuffle and slide down it a little bit. And I'm coming down this hill, I'm sliding down it. And the soft sand starts kind of like rolling underneath me. So I'm trying to kind of like surf this little pile of sand. And my foot starts like sinking into it, which makes me a little nervous. So, when you're going down a hill, I feel like you can either take it really slow or just like jog it out.
You barge it.
You just barge it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I make a decision. I was like, fuck, I don't want to like get sucked in this sand. So I yank my foot out and I just start kind of like treading down this hill. And at the bottom, there's like a row of rocks. They're like football, soccer ball, basketball size. There's a row of them. And I'm like, well, fuck, I don't want to fucking run into that. So I get to the bottom and I jump over that row of rocks.
Okay.
And when I land on the other side, I trip and I start stumbling forward. And I literally didn't even see anything. Next thing I know, I just fell forward and I felt like a bring. That's what it felt like to me.
Oh.
It just felt like somebody literally like rang my bell.
Yeah.
And I knew immediately that I had face planted on a rock.
Oh.
And I'm on my hands and knees there. And from my point of view, when that happens, you kind of lose situational awareness.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like everything around, it was like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like fucking Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher could have walked by fucking making out. I wouldn't have known shit. I wouldn't have known what the fuck was happening because all I saw was like the ground in front of me, and blood was just like
Oh.
pouring on that ground. And immediately my first two thoughts were, oh my God, my nose is definitely broken.
Oh.
And fuck, I just took fucking headshots.
Yeah. Well,
I just took fucking
That's the
really,
first thing I
really
thought.
expensive fucking headshots.
that's what I was going to say, Derrick, is to me, honestly, the first thing when I got your message about what happened to you, my first thing was just like, oh shit, glad he's okay, whatever, obviously. But my second thought, I literally was holding the phone and went, oh, he just took those headshots. I mean, before we broke, that was, you can't, Derrick kept bringing up, I went to this place that took amazing headshots. I'm going up to LA to get these great shots.
yeah.
I was like, oh, how cool, dude. Like that was a really cool thing. And
Yeah.
that was the second thing that popped into my
literally typed it into the Slack and thought that is so insensitive to put, because you just said, like, I'm like, oh my God, are you okay? Like, I know you said those headshots. Like, so it was something like that. I was like, I should just say, are you okay? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
my first thought was that too.
But that was seriously, I immediately thought of that.
Been working really hard here at Mega64, but on the side, just a passion of mine is like acting and filmmaking. I did 2 feature films last year, independent feature films, and I've been working with like a branding coach to like get myself out there more, build up my resume, learn the business of acting, and I got these really professional headshots. And I have a lot of opportunities to submit this to casting directors that I've built relationships with that was going to be a good opportunity for me. And now I'm like, I don't even fucking know, because if you're going to look at a headshot and be like, I like the way this guy looks, and then you get a different looking guy. By the way, just for context, I did a commercial once years ago, and this actor, the star of the commercial, was like, let me give advice to everybody here. Always look like your headshots. I got cast in a national commercial once, and I was going to get $100,000 to do a coffee commercial. And I showed up on set with a beard, and they fired me because I didn't look like my headshots. And he's
Shave
like,
that beard.
I could have shaved the beard that morning. They could have given me 10 minutes. I would have shaved the beard and come back and looked at my headshot, like my headshots. But they're like, this guy doesn't look like the guy we hired. Get him out. And they shut the whole thing down. So it's always been drilled into me, like, you got to look like your photos. So
Interesting.
now I don't know how it's going to work
Well, I
out.
think
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
right now you're still in recovery mode. It's only been a couple weeks, but I don't think you look different. Like
No.
obviously you have like
No,
you've been scraped up a little bit, but like it's not like it's
You're-
like
yeah.
not the same person.
Yeah,
It's definitely
yeah.
You've had like several doctor's visits so far already, right? Aside from being in
Yeah.
the hospital, you've
Uh-huh.
been going to the doctor, a couple different types of doctors.
I visited the neurosurgeon today,
Yeah.
right before this podcast, and I visited the plastic surgeon on Monday.
What was the overall like total damage? Like you broke your nose.
because I'm gonna
You
exactly.
broke did you break your orbital bone?
Well, let me first let me say how I got out of Mission Trail.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I was
yeah,
wondering
and I'll
that too.
answer
How do
all
you-
that
'cause
too.
You're like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, how deep are you?
Yeah, I was
He's
about
far.
3/4 of a mile into Mission Trails at the bottom of a hill on this path, and all this blood is pouring out of my nose, and immediately I kind of like wipe it, and then I like crawl forward a little bit with my eyes are closed because I'm like, fuck, this fucking hurts. And then I open my eyes and I see that more blood is just like pouring out. And that's when I started to get nervous because I was like, oh, this is like a lot. It was like not dripping. It was like somebody turned on a faucet and I'm just
Pouring.
watching blood like stream onto the ground.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's coming out of me right now. Fuck, what do I do?
Oh.
And so I had this Metal Gear hoodie on, the black one that I wear
I
Oh,
sometimes.
wore
from
that
Fan
today.
Gamer.
Yeah, I had the Fan
Shouts
Gamer
out
hoodie
Fan
on.
Gamer.
This Fan Gamer hoodie saved my life, actually.
Yeah.
So shouts out to Fan. I had to go into solid snake mode. I took that
Tourniquet.
thing off and I turned it inside out because the outside of it was covered with dirt and
Right.
Yeah.
grime and shit, and I needed a clean side. So I turned it inside out and I wrapped it around my head. I had the gash here. My nose was broken. My eye was fucked up. So basically, I had to hold it like this. I basically like blindfolded myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, to Joy, I was like, my mind was thinking like, how the fuck am I going to get out of here? We can call the ranger and they'll have to find me and cart me out of here. That means I'm going to sit here for God knows how long.
Yeah.
I know people get helicoptered out of here.
I've
sometimes.
seen that happen a lot because I
Yeah.
hike that Cowles Mountain, which is in the Mission Trails
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
And I've seen so many helicopters when I hike it, like taking people out there. And I just think of that helicopter woman of like spinning around. And, like, I will never get on one
Yeah,
of
they're
those.
going to scramble my eggs.
Exactly.
And also, I'm like, I don't want to even fucking call a fucking ambulance because God knows how much that's going to cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm literally like calculating the prices while I'm fucking bleeding out there.
That happened to someone else, by the way, that I know over the break, that something happened to them and they were like, no, the ambulance is going to cost so much. I fucking hate that is always.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to an ambulance related thing that people have to go, wait, oh shit, it might cost too much. Oh, like the fact you even have to think that fucking
There was
sucks.
a podcast at our old studio, our second studio, and I got a call from my mom saying I have to go to the hospital. So I left. Wasn't on the podcast. I was left and like went to her, and then same thing. I don't want to take an ambulance. Like I don't want to. I still called 911 and they got her an ambulance, and they said later if she wouldn't have been in the ambulance, she would have died. Like,
Yeah.
But it's like, well, I don't want to spend the $4,000.
When
like,
Trisha's dad had his stroke and she found him on the ground, he was like begging, like, no, don't call 911. And
Yeah.
that's like the first thought. So same
had
thing is like,
to.
no thanks.
everyone
Fuck-
does
fucking
that.
hate
It's
But,
so
like,
shitty.
I didn't call one.
It's so
Exactly.
shitty.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't do it because you're like, well, I could. I'd rather walk a mile with my face pouring blood and not call an ambulance.
Yeah. Well, you were conscious enough to make that decision still, so
I
like,
didn't
you-
pass out,
Yeah.
luckily. I'm just bleeding and I'm wrapped up. So I was like, let's just walk out of here. I can't see. So I was like, just tell me if I'm about to walk off the fucking trail.
Yeah.
Because all I could basically see is like the ground, like with one eye, just looking straight down. So I'm just walking. I know we passed the bench on the way in. So eventually I'm like, are we close to that bench? And Joey's like, yeah. So I was like, all right, let's just sit down for a second so I can get my bearings. I had some water. I like washed the blood off my hands. But then I'm like, shit, if I sit here for too long and I start getting lightheaded, I'm
Yeah.
Or
fucked.
sleepy or something.
Like, I don't want to wait. So I was on that bench for maybe like 30 seconds, just washed off. I was like, all right, let's keep walking.
Yeah.
And we walked back up this hill. By the way, there were tons of people on the trail. Nobody said shit to me.
They did no help.
This is-
Yeah.
I passed out at the gym once and then woke up face down on the ground and looked around and people were working out as if I wasn't there.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
And this is like the second time this has happened to me. I'm bleeding from my face and holding a thing on
Yeah.
here, and people are just like, "Hey, son, so we're gonna go cross the river," to just talking to their kids, and which you don't have to stop. It's fine. But nobody was like, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?" Nothing. We got back to the parking lot. I opened up the trunk of my car. I'm sitting there. Finally, a guy did come up. He's like, "Hey, I'm a medic. Do you need help?" And I was
There
like,
we go.
Yeah, and he had a first aid pack, so he like
Oh, shit.
wrapped my head for me pretty tight. And then I called my dad, who lives kind of close. He lives like 10 minutes away, so he came and he picked me up. And immediately I can't see anything, and I just hear my dad yelling at me from across the parking lot. He's like, "What the hell did you do?" Which
No.
I didn't even have the fucking energy to answer him.
Yeah,
at that
no.
It's
moment.
like sat there. Yeah.
No, fuck that.
Kind of got a little pissed off in that moment.
Yeah.
I was
would've
like,
too.
"Are you fucking? What do you want? You want to sit down? I'll give you a story." Like,
Yeah.
if you're in that situation, let me tell you, the best thing is like, "Hey, you're gonna be okay. I'm here now. Let me know what you need."
Yeah.
That's what I would have liked to hear. Not what the hell did you do? But
Yeah.
whatever. He was scared.
Sure.
He loaded me in his car and drove me to the hospital. And he was driving kind of like crazy too. So like at one point, I like hit my head on the top of his car because
Whoa.
he was like hitting fucking speed bumps really fast.
Because he was like
Yeah.
your ambulance. Like I'm
And I was
scared.
like,
he's real.
Yeah,
scared.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Hey, could you just drive easier?"
Of all things, for you to hit your head again is
Dude,
like the
I
last
was-
thing you need.
I was so mad at that moment. I was like,
no.
"You're fucking yelling at me and you're causing me to bang my injured head on the ceiling of your car."
Fuck.
Yeah, not to make this story drag out for too
No,
long.
I mean I'm
It's
interested.
super interesting,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
fine.
I went to the ER. They made me wait in line outside the hospital because you can't even go into the ER. You have to like wait in a line outside. And I'm like starting to like tremble.
No shocks wearing off kind of thing.
Yeah, I have a lot of adrenaline, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know if I'm going to pass out. I just feel like I'm trembling and I'm just kind of like leaning up against the wall. And, I'm not going to diminish anything that anybody goes to the ER for, but I'm looking at the people in front of me in line and I'm just like, y'all look fucking normal.
Yeah, get out of the way.
Can I go? I'm bleeding from my head, trembling, leaning against the wall. Can I get a cut in line pass here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Fast
know.
pass, please.
Did they give you one?
No. But they eventually like let me into the ER, and then I'm sitting there, and it was only like 10 minutes before they did call me back. They're like, "Acosta."
That means you're fucked. If they call you back with
Within 10 minutes?
10 minutes,
Yeah.
that means they did cut you.
Yeah, because I know there's other people there being like, oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, I have a headache. And I got to cut in front of all those people.
Good.
Yeah, the most I was ever scared, I was telling Derrick, was when Linda had that eye injury.
Oh,
And
the
then
Bush
when they
thing, yeah.
saw her and like, we're taking it back right now, and I was like, oh, you will? Like, I was glad, but also like, oh, this is serious. now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like scared as a parent now. But yes, that's scary if they take you right back. But also that means good because you needed help.
Yeah, so they took me back and they evaluated me temporarily and gave me some painkillers. They like injected numbing stuff into my forehead.
Okay, that's good.
And then they were like, here's some gauze for your face. And then I'm sitting there for a few minutes. And at this point, Joy was like, you want me to take a picture of you? You don't look so bad. And I was like, sure, yeah, take a picture of me. So I gave her like the thumbs up.
You now have, that's the photo where that one eye is completely swollen, right?
Yeah.
It's like black and blue.
Well, and it's
Right?
shut.
Yeah,
it's
and that,
swollen. You
and that
can't
was
see out of it.
within an hour, you said, of this injury thing? Like,
Yeah, probably within an hour of the injury.
Wow.
I did put that picture up on a Ko-Fi account earlier this week. It's available for free. So if anybody wants to look at that picture, you can go to ko-fi.com/Derrick Acosta. Link is in my social media. And you can look at the picture. You can donate a couple bucks for my medical bills and recovery if you want.
If you so choose.
But if you want to see the picture of me sitting there in the ER giving the thumbs up right at that moment, that picture is online right now. I tweeted about it too on Twitter. And then they sent me back to, they're like, all right, the real doctor's going to see you in a little bit. And they sent me back to the waiting room. And when I was in the waiting room, I kind of was like sitting there. I still had the thing over my face. And I kind of like looked around the waiting room and I saw that like every single person was like side-eyeing me.
Oh, fuck.
And at this point, I hadn't looked in the mirror. I didn't look at the picture. I didn't look in the mirror for probably 4 days.
Really?
You were scared too, I bet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either.
I really didn't want to see what I looked like because I was worried that it would make me like feel anxious or panic. So I had no idea what I looked like
Okay.
for like half a week.
You were just judging by how you felt, which was not good.
I felt like shit.
Yeah.
And it looked like I was scaring everybody in the ER. Like I'm looking around and everybody's seriously like
Fucking Nosferatu in here with us.
just fucking staring at me, which
Yeah.
I didn't mind because it made me feel kind of good because I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to get fucking priority here.
Yeah.
Clearly, I'm the main event in this fucking ER.
That is a good point, though. Priority at the hospital. Good thing.
And now- well,
you want it, but
you
at the
do
same
want it, but
time,
also
Just looking at the look on other people's
Yeah.
faces, I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to want to go before me.
yeah.
You know, and I do know that the day after Christmas is one of the busiest days in the
They
hospital.
did tell me it was the
It
busiest
is?
day of the year.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
really?
everyone got their new toys and they all get hurt on them. Like it is this, like, yeah, everyone, yeah.
They
Never
also
thought about
said
it.
everybody's on vacation, so everybody's doing something that they're not usually doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, nobody's at work. Everybody's out there doing something
Everyone's off
fun.
today. Yeah.
And a lot of people are getting hurt.
yeah.
So it was fucking crazy in the hospital.
Oh, I bet. Oh, shit.
Also, you may know, everybody out there knows, like norovirus has been crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Like
yeah.
all the doctors I found out were like sick and vomiting
Oh, cool.
No.
as
Great.
well.
Great.
No.
So they eventually pulled me back into this waiting room, and I was there, for a long time. Bleeding there. I had to share the room with somebody else behind the corner, behind this sheet next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy next to me, I didn't talk to him. I didn't see him, but there were two people there, a dude and his friend. And the guy had an injury, or I guess he crushed his hand in like a metal like machine press.
Oh,
He like crushed the tip of his finger there, which I'm assuming is fucking painful as shit.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
But his friend who was with him was so fucking annoying because he was one of those guys who just wouldn't stop joking for hours and hours.
Yeah, oh my
just being
God.
like, it's not that bad. We'll just have to cut the finger off all your gloves.
Oh,
yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, I've been fucked up too. I've been like shot in the face. I've been shot in the face with like shotgun pellets. He was just telling all of these stories about how he's been hurt in the past. And every time a doctor came in, he'd be like, oh, that's the good. Can I get some of that too? Can I get some of the and I'm sitting next to him just being like, this guy needs to shut the fuck up. Fucking annoying.
Say less.
But eventually they got this plastic surgeon to come in to fix that guy's hand. And the nurse was like, you're lucky. This guy never comes in the hospital. And then he came in to like look at me too. And he evaluated me. And he was essentially like, And let me say too, before this surgeon came in, they were like, we need to give you a CT scan or like a CAT scan or something.
Yeah.
So they had me get into a wheelchair and they slowly wheeled me through the entire hospital. It was very surreal because I'm like in pain. I can't move. I'm just like looking straight forward and it felt like a cutscene from a movie. I don't know what I look like at this point. They wheel me past a window and I kind of get a glimpse of myself in the window reflection. I could see my hair is like smeared up. Like there's something about Mary, like with blood. And I'm like, yeah, I look kind of fucked up. And then they wheel me past a nurse who looks at me and she goes, ooh, that's not good.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
That's so mean.
And then the guy's like, it's really busy here, so we have to take you to the outdoor CT scan. And I'm like,
What? The one in nature.
What?
okay, all right. So they wheel me out to like this outdoor plaza, and there's like a convex box there.
Oh, wow.
And they wheel me up
Shipping
next to it
container.
onto this platform, and the guy hits a button, and the platform like elevates halfway up the convex box.
Whoa.
And then he like reaches and lifts up this roller door, and inside is a dude at a giant computer who just turns to me and he's like, hey, what's up? My name's Alonzo. I'm going to be your CT scan technician today. Okay. And then they put me inside and there's like the bed that they like, and the big tube, and they just like load me on that bed
crazy.
and load me into that thing. And they start CT scanning my brain.
This sounds like a Death Stranding cutscene.
Yeah, it's in a fucking
It felt like a
shipping
Kojima.
container.
It felt like a
It
Kojima
really
moment.
does.
That's wild.
You have been asleep for 9 years.
Yeah,
We are-
basically. So they're scanning my brain, and when you're in that thing, they kind of like load you into the tube, and then this laser like scans up and down your face, and my eyes are closed, but every time it passes over my eyes, I could see the laser.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it was
yeah.
one of the, that to
Right.
me was, I don't like that shit when like you close your eyes and you could still see something. I'm like, well, how do I not see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they took me out of it, and they took me back to the room with the guy who's making jokes, and the plastic surgeon comes in and he's like, all right, we did your CT scan. Basically, to answer your question, Garrett, you have a broken nose, you have a broken sinus, you fractured your orbital bones, and you have swelling on your eye, and you have a big laceration on your head. He's like, right now, I'm going to have to reset your nose by hand and sew up your head laceration. And I'm like, all right. He's like, okay. So, and he was a really nice guy. He was like very regal. There was something about him where I was like, this guy makes fucking shit ton of money. Like, this is a really good plastic surgeon.
Yeah.
Which I found out later. The nurse was like, that guy's the best of the best of the best. Like,
Oh, hell yeah.
You got the best plastic surgeon. So he pulls out these 2 needles, and I don't know if he makes a joke, but he holds up 2 syringes, and one is like a 3-inch needle and one is like a 1/2-inch needle. And he's like, well, these are our 2 options. He's the big one. Then he's like, the little one. He's like, I think this one's a little bit better. And I'm like, yeah, I agree. He's like, all right, I'm going to have to use this to numb you up. And I was like, okay. And he starts injecting my like nose with this. This fucking hurts so fucking bad. Let me tell you.
Like he's poking it from the outside of
Yeah,
your nose,
he's basically
not
like,
inside.
no, he's putting a needle, like he's dotting my face with it.
Oh.
So he needles up the wound, and this is a numbing agent. And he's like, this is going to hurt, but in a minute or 2, you're going to be numb, and then you're not going to feel anything. But this is going to hurt. And it did. And he's injecting my broken nose, like on the bridge, in the nostrils, in my lips. And I'm just like sitting there like, oh, fuck. Oh, God. I'm just fucking cursing at this guy every time. I'm just, God damn it. Fuck. Trying to keep it in. He's like, I know it hurts. Just stick with me. And he eventually numbs me up. And then he resets my nose, which I'm not going to be too graphic about it, but I could like feel and hear some stuff
Pressure.
moving.
But
Like
you
some
didn't-
pressure.
It's pressure, but it's like pain.
It didn't hurt. Yeah. But I'm still like feeling what he's doing.
Mentally, I would be like, whoa.
He's like, it's not that bad. It's just like a millimeter off to the side. Hold on. All right. You're that's good.
Cool.
He sews up my forehead, which, sorry if this is too graphic. I don't know if people out there squirm with medical stuff. To me, it felt like somebody was like zipping up a zipper.
Yeah.
You know, he was like putting the thing in and suturing it, and it was like, zip, and then he'd snip it, and then he'd do another one. Zip. He did about 3 of those, and he was. And Joy, my wife, told me, because she was watching, she doesn't get bothered by this, and she told me later, he's like, when he was doing that to your forehead, I'm pretty sure I could see your skull.
Yeah.
Like the
Oh,
white
you probably
bone.
could.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like it had gone through the skin, it had gone through the muscle.
Oh.
And that's why
I'm sure it
now
did, yeah.
you can't really see it on this camera, but I have a scar, like a 2.5-inch scar on my forehead with the silicone on top. I'm trying to get that to heal up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like my nostril had like ripped a little bit, so he had to like sew that back on.
Oh wow.
And then I thought like, all right, I should be good from here. And I kept asking, he's like, all right, just sit here and we'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
The neurosurgeon is looking at your CT scan. He'll come talk to you in a minute. And I'm talking to the nurse like, can I get a water? And they're like, let me check if you can get water. She leaves, she never comes back. Now 30 minutes later, I see another guy. I'm like, can I get some water? And he's like, let me check on you. And eventually they come back. They're like, we can't give you any water right now. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, if you need to go into surgery, we don't want you aspirating. And I'm like, surgery? Excuse me?
Yeah, you thought you were going home.
Yeah, I thought I was going home.
Yeah.
And I'm there for a while. And they're like, all right, we're checking your CT scans. And I hear them outside the door and they keep throwing out this word craniotomy. And I'm like, are they talking about me? What's a craniotomy?
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't know what it is. I do not want that.
Sounds like they're gonna give him a whole new head.
That sounds like fucked.
Yeah.
Don't want that.
I don't want that.
No.
And they never come in or explain anything to me. But after a few hours, they're like, okay, we're going to take you to your hospital room. And I'm like, okay. Nobody's like, no questions. They're like, get in the wheelchair. And they take me through the hospital upstairs, like 3 floors. They wheel me down the hall and they put me in this room with a bed. And they're like, oh, you're lucky. You get a room all to yourself. Most people have to share a room. And I was like, okay. They put me in a hospital gown and they put me in that bed. They've hooked me up to IV at this point. They've taken my blood a couple of times. And they're just like, all right, just wait here and we're going to figure out when we're going to get you into surgery. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, has the neurosurgeon come to talk to you about what's going on?
Fuck?
And I'm like, no. And I'm like, well, somebody will come and talk to you eventually. I'm there all night. Nobody comes to talk to me.
Did they know that did you know you're spending the night? Did you
No,
have any
I have no idea what's going on. They won't give me water. They won't give me food.
Because they have the IV now, so they're like, he's hydrated.
I'm hooked up to IV. They're giving me like morphine and like oxycodone, like all kinds of crazy painkillers and shit. And they're just like, yeah, we're going to get you into surgery. And eventually about 10 o'clock, they come in. They're like, looks like we're not going to do surgery tonight. So we're going to keep you overnight and we'll probably get you into surgery like sometime in the morning. So then I'm just there for the night and they're like, yeah, no, you can't have any food. You can't have any water. The most I can do is they bring a cup of ice with like a sponge on the end of like a lollipop stick. And they're like, you could dip this in the ice and rub it on your lips. Yep. That's all I get. And I'm like, this fucking sucks.
What are you doing in this time? Because you can't like
TV, right?
Yeah, is it TV? Like, what are you doing?
I'm like just fucking chilling.
I'm
just fucking sitting there
for hours and hours and hours.
Actually, the day before, I did have some free time. Here's what it is. It's like I'm mostly just trying to be comfortable and not be in pain. And when they give me the heavy drugs, it's like,
oh, that's true.
Boom, you're sedated. And I like take a nap for like an hour or something, or I'm fucking chilling. And then after a while, it kind of like I get lucid again and I'm not really in pain. I'm kind of feeling good. And in those moments, that's when I saw Rocco's message. I'm like, I could have responded to you, but I was like,
you know what?
You were asking me questions and I'm like, I can't make a decision right now. I don't fucking know. And I was on Instagram the day before I had posted about how I didn't like Nosferatu. And a lot of people were just like, what didn't you like about it? Or I agree, that movie sucks. So I was like talking to people like, yeah, fuck Nosferatu.
You're like high on morphine.
Yeah, I'm like fucking high on like morphine, oxycodone, being like, yeah, it didn't really have a good story, but it looked cool. Whatever. I'm there overnight and they're like, hey, at any point if you're uncomfortable, let us know. We'll come give you more morphine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd never had morphine before.
Yeah.
They put it into your IV arm, and the first time they did it, it literally felt like somebody like shoved me.
Oh.
I'm there like, all right, your morphine. And I just felt like a
Yeah.
like it like washed over me, whatever.
Damn.
Wow.
To wrap this up, I was there that whole night. I was there the entire next day, and I mostly just slept the next day. And every time, after a few hours, I would really like have a really bad fucking headache. And in addition to like feeling like pain and burning, like I had a really bad headache. And I had a runny nose too. And so I'd be like, I have a headache. Can you give me more medicine? And then they would like dope me up and I'd pretty much go back to sleep. My family like came to visit me. They're kind of being a little annoying because they were like trying to ask me questions like, how are you feeling? What happened? I'm like, I can't fucking talk right now.
Yeah.
It hasn't even been 24 hours. I was there again, that whole day, that whole night, no surgery, nothing happened. Nobody came and talked to me. They wouldn't even let me go to the bathroom by myself. If I got out of the bed, an alarm would go off.
Yeah.
A nurse would have to come and watch me because they're like, if you fall, we're fucked. So, you have to ask permission to go to the bathroom. Eventually, then I was there again a second night. And then on the third day, they came in and they're like, all right, it doesn't look like we're going to have to give you surgery right now. You're healing up okay. So we're going to discharge you. But like, we need you to monitor some stuff because if anything goes wrong, we will have to have you come back. And I was like, well, what surgery were you? Oh, this was, they told me what the surgery they were going to do was, and they were like, you fractured orbital bones around your eye and you might have some bones. My eye was swollen shut. And they're like, you might have some bone fragments like in your eye that could impair your vision.
Oh.
So we might have to do eye surgery on you to remove those fractured bones.
Okay.
But then they came in and they're like, no, we're not going to do the orbital surgery, but the neurosurgeon might have to do a surgery on you. He eventually came in and talked to me. He's like, we're not going to do surgery. And I was like, well, what were they talking about? He's like, we were considering doing a craniotomy because you broke a sinus in your forehead, and that would require removing your like forehead and going in there. And then like his term was obliterating your sinus, which
Scraping it out.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And then they replace it with like impacted fake bone or like some other, like they replace it somehow. Basically, he was saying they were thinking about taking my forehead off. And I'm like, yeah, it's fine if we don't want to do that.
No thanks on that.
Yeah, I think I'll just go home instead of doing that. And he's like, yeah, you have two sinuses. You have one in your forehead and one around your eye. We thought you broke the one in your forehead. Turns out you broke the one in your eye. There's not really a good surgery to fix that. It's just going to have to heal. You have bone fractures in your skull around your eye. And he's like, but if you have, the nurses kept asking me like, do you have any clear fluid coming out of your nose? Any clear leak? And I kept telling them like, yeah, a little bit. And this neurosurgeon is like, you've had a little bit of that. When you go home, if you have that coming out of your nose, like it's pouring out, and this is going to freak people out. This freaked me out when he said it. He's like, that's brain fluid. That's like spinal fluid. That's like, it's coming out of your brain cavity. It's leaking through the fractures in your skull and getting into your sinus. That's really bad.
Yeah, I would guess that
He's
was
like,
bad.
if you experience that, you need to come back here immediately.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Otherwise, you just need to go home and heal up. So they discharged me after a few days, and so then I just went home and I was fucked up for a while.
Just like resting, right?
Resting, headaches, a little bit dizzy.
What did you eat?
When I was in the hospital after 24 hours, they did eventually put me on a liquid diet where I was eating Jell-O and pudding and
Okay.
drinking juice. And when I went home, I just continued to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Ate Jell-O pudding, drank juice, drank Gatorade. I ordered a pizza, but I couldn't really chew it because my teeth were sore, and my teeth are still kind of sore.
Yeah.
Yeah, luckily you didn't. That's what I thought too. Rocco mentioned that like, damn, did he break any teeth?
Yeah.
I didn't break any teeth, but here's the thing. None of the doctors looked really in my mouth. And what I've noticed since, I called up the dentist now because my gum is ripped currently, and none of the doctors have looked at this yet.
Oh.
So I am going to get this checked out next week. But I noticed I was looking in the mirror and I couldn't really like lift up my lip because I hit this left side of my face. So
Yeah.
I broke this eye. This is the nostril that got fucked up. And my canine tooth, the gum above it has like ripped apart, and I can see the tooth goes way up
it
high.
pushed
Like,
up.
The gums have like opened up there.
Holy fuck.
And so I'm thinking like today, right now, I'm like, I'm probably going to have to go to the dentist, and I hope they can like sew that
They'll
back
stitch
and
that up.
correct
They'll
it. But
stitch it up.
honestly, like I'm not fucking looking for, after everything I've gone through, I was like, now I have to get fucking gum surgery. or
Well,
some
let me
shit.
tell you, if that's what it is, like I've had so many dental procedures, like that shit, it's not the best, but that's not what you went through. It's
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
same thing.
Yeah.
Like you went through way worse.
So after about 4 or 5 days, they gave me oxycodone, which is extremely
Yeah.
powerful. I did not like taking that shit. It like knocked out the pain, but it would make me so loopy, and I would
Yeah.
sleep and have the weirdest fucking dreams.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I was like, they were weird ass dreams, and I was not enjoying sleeping because the dreams they were like weird ass nightmares. It was literally like being in an industrial complex with my best friend, but it's your dream best friend. So it's a person you've never met, but you're like, that's my best friend. He's really cool. And we're like trying to walk through mud and like just weird shit like that.
Horrific sick dreams, like when you have the flu.
Yeah. It was like fucking Jacob's Ladder
Yeah,
shit.
fuck those.
So after like 4 or 5 days, I was like, I don't want to take this anymore. I started feeling like I didn't need that pain medication. I feel like I healed up pretty quick. I did have like bandages on my nose, scabs on my nose, scabs on my forehead. Right now, today, all of that has come off. You guys are telling me like I look pretty normal.
Yeah, I mean,
We saw you on Monday when you came in.
when you came in, that
Yeah.
we were like, I was walking in like, is Derrick even going to show up, or like, what is he going to look like? And I saw you, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you look great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting the Elephant Man.
That's
That's what I look like. My
I was
eye,
led to believe that.
my,
Jonathan
my eye
Mendelsohn.
was swollen shut. Like I couldn't open it for like
Yeah.
4 or 5 days. Everything is looking pretty good right now. On Monday, I went to visit the plastic surgeon for a follow-up. He took my stitches out and he said, like, you're healing up pretty well. I don't have feeling right here where the scar is. And he's like,
Sure.
you may have severed a nerve there.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So you may have, but then he was like touching other parts of my forehead and I have feeling everywhere else. He's like, okay, so you didn't do too much damage, but like right on the scar, that might not come back.
Yeah, you know, I was saying that my dad broke his face when I was like a teenager. Same thing on a rock. And like he still can't feel half of his face. Like he's never gotten to feel
He's
it back.
numb.
That's that's crazy. Yeah, I was really worried about like lasting effects. Right now, God dang, somebody's texting me like crazy.
Seeing if you're okay.
That Kofi's blowing up is what's happening.
I hope so. Yeah. Ko-fi.com/Derrick Acosta. See the picture of me fucked up. He took the stitches out. He says like, you know, in like 3 to 6 weeks, everything's going to be healed. Your nose is going to be healed up. Everything should be good. In about 2 years, that is when the scar is going to fully finish healing as much as it's going to heal. He's like, it's pretty good now. You basically have an indentation. He's like, that indentation will fill out. It'll become less noticeable, but in 2 years, that's when you know like this is as good as it's
That's
going to
what
get.
you're stuck
And he's
with.
like, and in about 6 months, it'll be pretty good. Yeah, and that's basically the story. I went to the neurosurgeon today for a follow-up. He's like, none of that brain fluid leaking out of your nose? I'm like, no. And he's like, then we're good. We have nothing to do. I was like, I kind of have some lingering headaches a little bit. He's like, we'll scan your brain in like next week sometime and make sure nothing else is going on. But
yeah.
but that's basically where I sit right now.
Jesus Christ.
So now it's a matter of like, don't, play any sports and accidentally get hit in the face with a dodgeball.
That's the number one thing. They're like, the
Stay out of
number
the
one thing
sun.
you can do is, yes, exactly. Don't re-injure it, and the sun will make the scars worse.
Visible.
So,
Oh, interesting.
so don't
really?
don't expose your skin to the sun too much. Like,
Okay.
use sunscreen and stay in shade.
Yeah.
You could go for like a Venom snake thing and just like bake it in the sun and just have like
Yeah.
a badass. You'll get cast like Danny Trejo as like a villain and stuff from
I might have to be doing the Danny Trejo parts from now on.
No, I honestly, I looking at the camera now and looking at the shot of Derrick, it's like you wouldn't know.
Yeah,
that,
you really wouldn't.
like you wouldn't know that 2 weeks ago your face was ripped open and broken. Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't know. Like it's pretty. You're good. You're good.
I'm just overly sensitive, that somebody's going to look at that photo and be like, yeah, this guy, let's audition him. And then in the audition, I'm going to have a glaring scar on my forehead, be like, well, that wasn't in the photo. Like,
Yeah.
Did they Photoshop it out of the photo? Yeah, then their mind is thinking stuff and it's like, no, this is new.
but I'm not worried about it. You know
Yeah.
what? Honestly, this is like a life event. It is what it is. I feel like I've been pretty positive about the whole
I
experience.
agree. On my end,
I think I got
see.
really lucky actually because I didn't have a concussion. They didn't have to take my
Yeah,
forehead
yeah.
off.
Yeah.
I'm healing up quickly. Whatever. If there's a scar left, there's actors who have scars. There's people,
Yes.
I'm just going to use it as a experience, adds depth to my character.
Exactly.
Now I've had this now I know what it's like to be fucking injured in the middle of fucking nowhere. And,
Yeah.
It's scary.
in the past, Joy has told me, she's like, you don't have a high pain tolerance because I'll bite my tongue sometimes and complain about
Oh,
it. Be like,
yeah.
I really hurt my tongue. I just bit it. But after this whole experience, she's like, I think you do have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Because of walking out of there, the fucking bleeding and all the like
poking the broken nose with the needles. I think I handled it pretty well. So I've learned a lot about myself during this experience.
What a break for you, huh? That was not what we anticipated for you to have to go through on our time off here.
That was the part that bummed me out the most. I was like, I was really looking forward to enjoying my break.
Yeah, you probably had a bunch of shit to do.
Honestly, and then you healed up just in time to come back to work. Like that, like if this happened during a normal weekend, we wouldn't have seen you for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
I knew that like everybody was concerned. I knew you guys were concerned for me, and I was thinking like, you're probably thinking I'm really fucked up.
Yes.
That I'm going to be out of commission for weeks or months. And like, how is Mega64 going to have to operate and pivot if Derrick isn't here?
I mean, I talked to Rocco on the phone, like, hey, let's just assume Derrick's not coming until like March. Let's just assume that we're not going to see him for a while.
What does that look like?
Yeah, like what are we going to do? You know, trying to get it planned out.
I wanted to come back here day one and let you know, like, I don't want that to happen. I don't want to let that happen. We have so much to accomplish here at Mega64. Everybody out there knows, all of our fans watching, they know this is like such a critical time for Mega64.
Yeah.
We're trying to grow and evolve in significant ways as a business. We're really trying to show that progress and that change to everybody at home. This would be the worst time to like lose, a core member of the group. I just did not want that to happen at all. So no matter what, I was like, I'm fucking going there and getting to fucking work.
Yeah. And we have been. So, well, we're all glad that you're fine, but I mean, fine is relative, I suppose, but like you've recovered, you're healing, and that you're going to be okay. Cause that's
I am healing. I haven't received a bill from the hospital yet. So
we're
going to see how that turns. I'm not bringing it up.
You slipped through the cracks.
We're at like a standstill. I think we have an unspoken agreement.
It was a busy day.
It was Christmas,
Paperwork gets lost all the time on busy days.
You shouldn't ever do this, but how entertaining would it be if you don't open the bill until we're live on the podcast? That would be a show.
That'd be a good.
That's
stream. Right
now
there.
that's something.
Hey, all I did, a couple Jellos, a couple puddings, a couple shots of morphine.
What does that cost?
$300 maybe.
Probably.
That's what I'm
for the job well done.
You got insurance?
I don't. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it all.
Thank God we have insurance.
I don't have a bill, but again, I did set up that Ko-Fi because I'm like, well, a lot of people are concerned. They probably want to see this picture. And, I'm not going to do a GoFundMe or anything, but if you want to help me recover and handle all that stuff, donations are available. But the picture is free. So if you just want to look at what I looked like, get the thumbs up, go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually the I'm not a medical expert, but usually a lot of the hospitals, they're on a don't ask, don't tell basis.
Yeah.
Like, don't bring up the bill. They're not going to tell you,
The slogan's like, you're good. Usually what they say. You're good.
Yeah.
For you, you're good.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Hey.
Glad you're feeling better.
Well, that was an eventful break for you. How about you guys? Did you guys do anything?
I mean, nothing that lives up to that.
No, you don't say.
God.
Yeah.
No, I stayed in San Diego. I didn't really do much of any traveling.
I do actually just want to say real quick, just to bridge the gap between the conversations.
Yeah.
I was around family when I discovered your thing and what had happened to you. And every relative of mine said it was like the same Italian person climbed out to say the same thing, which was essentially, how do I describe this? There's a certain attitude Italians have when they hear something like that. Like, I remember when you saw your dad, not that he's Italian, but how he was like, what the hell did you do? Kind of thing. I think just maybe older relatives act like that because literally everyone I told.
He is from New York. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There, maybe a connection there, but everyone I told said some form of, stay home. Why is he walking around?
Why you gotta hike?
Christmas, he should have been home with the family. Oh, stuff like that. Why? Stay home. I heard that probably 3 times.
Stay home.
Why is he walking around on the rocks? And I
love that.
They all felt very bad for you.
Also, it's a very that trail is not very hazardous. It's a pretty unassuming trail. It just happened. You went Froden.
It was just cracking me up.
Yeah,
Everyone I told was say, why is he walking around? But everyone was very concerned for you.
I did always consider it a rinky-dink trail.
Yeah.
It's an easy walk. But then the idea of doing it afterwards was very daunting to me. I thought maybe I should go back there and see if I could find blood or something on the ground. But that was oh fuck, walk back there.
Yeah.
But I eventually did. Last week I went back to the scene
of the crime.
Yeah. And you would never know that anything happened. It was I found the spot where I hit the ground and I was like, yeah, there's blood on the ground here. We're about 10 feet off the trail. Nobody's going to walk over here. If you see this stain on the ground, I don't even think you're going to assume this is blood.
Yeah.
I took some videos. Maybe I'll upload those at some point, give people some perspective. And I did find some rocks, little tiny rocks that were covered in my blood. And I was like, I'm going to take these home as souvenirs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. That is crazy. Well, you conquered your fear too, because I get how that could just build up over time as well. You know, you had to go out and do that.
I felt like it was important. I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to have anxiety. I'm going to face the beast head on. Yeah.
Conquer that mountain.
But it's interesting how those little, like, fuck this thing becomes so daunting once you're like bleeding from the face. And you're like, oh my God, I'm fucking kick the bucket out here. This sucks.
You know, it makes me wonder, like, you know, like you fell. How many times have we all fallen and, oh, that was lucky, and you just keep going and you don't think about it? You know, like there's so many times. One time I was in the studio, and our old studio, this is before Garrett worked with us, was a fucking mess at all times. And I was cutting boxes to open up for shirts, and I tripped and I fell, and like I fell here, and the knife is just up right here. It's like up. And I was like, that could have been a fucking problem.
Could have
Like,
been in your neck.
How many times have I gone hiking and done shit on the rocks?
I've
and
almost
just like
fallen down the stairs here.
Oh, yeah.
I think like once a week.
Literally, the rock I hit my face on, to the right of it, 6 feet to the right is nothing but
Sand.
dirt.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
but sand.
Oh.
And I was just looking at that rock being like, I could have fallen here.
Oh,
And nothing would have happened. 6 inches to the right.
Yep.
It's just an open space. I didn't even see the rock. When I jumped over the first line of rocks, I started tripping. I didn't see where I was going. Suddenly I just felt it on my face. And I was like, of all the fucking places to land, the one rock right here, that's where I hit my fucking face. So yeah, that's how it happens.
Yep.
Be careful out there, everybody.
Yeah, don't go trailblazing. I mean, I'm going to still do that, but, you know, be careful.
Oh,
be
yeah.
careful.
oh yeah.
Well, you guys saw Nosferatu. Derrick, you didn't like it.
Well, no,
go-
we were talking about the whole Christmas break.
Well, I talked to Garrett about his.
You don't have nothing to say about yours?
No.
Oh.
No, go ahead. What did you do, Rocco?
Oh, I mean, I was going to segue that into another bit.
Oh, okay.
I had a whole chain of thoughts
A
here.
chain.
Well, I just wanted to talk about. I mean, I don't mean to try to dovetail, you know, from what you were talking about, but I was pretty badly injured over the break too.
Whoa, what?
You were?
And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it was worse
Okay.
than
that's
what I
good.
heard from Derrick, but can we get a Joker update? I just wanted to say real quick, I think over the break, I watched my least favorite movie I've ever seen in my life. And I'm
Wow.
really not joking, and I'm not trying to like do a bit here.
Okay.
Wow.
That second Joker movie, Joker Folie Deux or whatever.
Folie la Deux.
I genuinely think that's my least favorite movie I've ever sat and watched in my entire life.
Wow.
That's so
Not
cool.
exaggerating.
That's cool.
Not
Yeah, 'cause-
exaggeraggerating.
What was so bad about
people,
it?
you know, we make. I just want to say real quick, we make jokes on here about still waiting, and I think to this point, I've always said like waiting was, you know,
Yeah.
I sat in the theater and
Oh,
was like,
right.
oh, what a fuck! I wish I wasn't in here right
Yeah.
now. This was worse. This was so much worse. I think it just I think it's like 2.5 hours. In that amount of time, I think they checked every box of everything that annoys me. Like I can't speak for anybody else or what they're gonna think, but it checked every box for me of like something that would get under my skin. and
What
they
is
did
the
it.
checkbox, a checklist of things that annoy Rocco? I'm curious.
So
Me?
for me, a big
Oh,
one.
Sean was in the movie.
Sean shows up in the movie.
I'm in it.
He's in the opening scene talking about Bip Roberts or something.
Some
Like, oh, did you
baseball.
see the
they talk about
pitch?
Padres.
Yeah. For me, a big one is when you can't stop using slow motion. Let me just back up and say
Top of the list.
the whole.
Slow motion.
Let me just say
That's why he's Padres so much.
let me just rewind and say
slow mo guys.
the whole
Ugh.
the whole reason I watched it in the first place is people were telling me, "Oh, it's so bad, but then they would explain what the movie was, And it was just piquing my interest. It was like, yeah, it's like a big FU to the first one. And it totally like removes the power away from the Joker. It's kind of like insulting him. It kind of like mocks that character and kind of isn't what you expect. And it's part musical and it's part like people kept explaining it. And I'm kind of like, yeah, this sounds like they took a big risk and you're actually gaining my interest. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I hated the first one. So you tell me that they like destroyed the first one.
Yeah,
I'm interested.
I have noticed whenever everybody says a movie sucks, that starts to make you want to see it.
Yeah, it is a thing. You're right.
This
You're
happened
right.
with that. This happened with that last Halloween movie of the new ones that came out. Halloween Ends.
Yeah.
I remember that. Everyone's like the biggest piece of shit ever, and then they tell me about it. It's like, oh, I'm not giving this. This is the kind of the beginning of the movie, but in that movie, yeah, oh yeah, Michael Myers is like gone right away, and then like some kid who's picked on in school or in the town or whatever becomes the new Michael Myers. Whatever, they go into it, and I'm like, yeah, this sounds like an interesting premise. It sounds like they're doing something new. I don't know. So you get my attention. I didn't necessarily love that movie, but you got my attention. And the same thing was happening with this. It was so avant-garde compared to the first one. I didn't really love the first one either. I thought Joaquin was awesome, but you know, whatever on that. But yeah, I was like, you're getting my attention. Okay, I'm gonna sit and watch this thing. And yeah, any walk through a fucking hallway is slow. He is in jail the whole movie. The entire movie.
Are they playing like sad music?
Yeah, it's you know.
It's like Snoopy when Charlie Brown's upset.
Well, let me just tell you. The part, and people won't agree with this, but Zack Snyder does that kind of shit all the time, where it's like, yo, kill the slow motion.
He does.
But a personal hell of mine, and I don't even hate the whole movie necessarily, but that opening to Watchmen, where it was
The
like
Bob Dylan
that
song?
Bob Dylan song for 28 minutes.
Yeah.
The times they are a and it's slow motion where people are just doing sad shit. That was like the whole movie, where so the whole movie is him in prison, and then he's having his court trial for things he did in the first movie.
Okay.
The movie never goes further than that. It's him like, oh, we got to take him to the courtroom. Oh my God.
You're describing this, kind of making me want to see the movie.
Yeah, me too.
Walking in slow
sounds good.
motion from one room to another.
Yeah, I love
Then
that.
he's in the courtroom, but then it's sort of this musical, but I say sort of because it feels like they just improvise the songs on the set. They're just singing old songs they heard. So and they slow the movie down. Every time there's a song, it stops the movie. It doesn't like, it's not like, here's what I'm going to do when I get to the courtroom tomorrow. I'm going to tell them this. It doesn't further the story.
Yeah.
It's, okay, speak, all right, give your whatever on the courtroom. Oh yeah, the Joker beat me up 2 years ago. I gotta do, smile, darn you, smile.
I don't even understand what you're saying right now.
I mean, it was like, can you just get to the next thing?
Wait, what?
It would just cut to Joker like in the witness stand or whatever the
And
fuck.
he starts singing?
He starts singing. I'm so upset.
Is it Joaquin singing?
Yeah.
Is he having a good
And he's
voice?
singing
I mean,
on
he sang
set.
Walk the Line when he did that Johnny
It sounds
Cash
like
movie.
he's just improvising
But
it.
is he doing like a falsetto like that? Like high pitch?
At one point he does. Yeah, at one point he does.
Joaquin the Joker.
I'm the Joker.
And then he meets Lady Gaga in the fucking thing.
Yeah.
And it's,
Where'd she
cool.
come in?
Oh, you're cool. Okay. And then she's like coming in every day to watch his court case. And then, yeah, he'll be looking back at her and, what are you gonna do?
Was she like a good actress?
Nope. Like even she's not doing shit.
Did she won? Didn't she like win an Oscar?
She was nominated.
For A
I
Star
thought
Is
for
Born?
yeah, Star Is
Star Is
Born. I
Born.
think she was nominated. But she won one for the song, I think. But I don't know if she won for acting.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But
Does she play Harley Quinn?
yeah.
Okay.
But the problem is like I will say, still having watched it, I do appreciate that it really does fucking destroy the character of the Joker.
That's
like,
hilarious.
There is an avant-garde nature of it. Like that thing that I heard that got my interest, that is alive and well in that movie.
How do they destroy him?
It's just a complete like they make the whole thing stupid. Like the whole movie is
Okay, well that's good.
the whole movie is like this stuff that you're doing is childish. Like this is nothing to like look up to. Like only the worst people would look up to
I
this.
hated the first Joker movie.
As
Yeah.
did I.
For
I felt the same way.
For exactly that reason.
Yeah.
I was like, so this guy's the fucking hero. Like everybody's like,
And-
he's so fucking cool.
Yeah, that's
and I'm
the-
like,
oh.
really? You
Yeah.
thought?
And that's like you kept seeing people cosplay as, you know what, I've said this before and I'll say it right here too. There's never once been a Joker cosplayer. There has been a Joker, what do you call it?
Performative artist.
Performance. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're never just wearing the costume and not acting like the Joker. They're always
Yeah.
acting like the Joker 100% of the time.
Which we always make a joke
Yeah.
about. I remember Derrick, you saying that. It was like, there's no point in staying in character as the Joker because if you follow down that path, then
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, did the Joker wait for Comic-Con registration? To
Well,
go
I
up?
remember I was at Comic-Con once and there was a Joker cosplayer like, can we get a picture? And in character, he's like, ha, 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 ha. Yes, let's all take a picture. And I'm like, you think that's what the Joker would say?
Yeah, he would have stabbed me by now.
Yeah, the Joker would fucking, I got a picture for you.
Acid
It kills you.
flower.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Melt
see
your
a
face.
Joker cosplayer at Comic-Con, I'm like, no thanks. I don't want to
Yeah,
be involved
I'm
in
good.
this situation.
But
at all.
can I, with the Joker, I see why people would be the Joker. Caesar Romero, Heath Ledger, like I can see the fun in that. But with the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, that to me, I was like, what's fun about being that Joker?
Yeah.
Chain smoking.
Yeah, and like being fucking fucked in the
You're
head.
based.
And not in a cool
You know?
way.
Yeah.
This
So-
that never struck me as cool.
Yeah.
So this movie it tears that down. And that aspect was what got me to watch it. And that aspect is there. And I appreciated that. That's one part of it that I, valued. But there really is someone, a friend of mine said this when they watched it. They said it felt like this isn't a whole movie. I felt like there was 20 minutes of content stretched to 2.5 hours. You know what I
Wow,
mean?
yeah.
It was just him in his prison cell and they keep bringing him to the courtroom to hear from another witness. And it just stretches that to 2.5 hours. Nothing else.
It sounds like the
takes
Seinfeld
place.
finale.
Hey.
I mean, it was like, it really was.
Can I voice a big pet peeve? Every movie nowadays is 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can we fucking stop? Like,
Yeah.
not every movie needs to be approaching 3 hours. Like,
Yeah.
90, you can do anything you want for 90 minutes. I'm there with you.
Yeah.
Another hour of this shit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking stop.
And every time, as I mentioned, they go to a song, it stops the movie in place. There is not one song that like furthers the, you know what I'm saying?
There's like no montage song.
So it's just like, I don't know how it's going to go in court tomorrow. Oh, baby, are you worried about it? Yeah, I might be. Okay. Well, we'll see you tomorrow, right? Okay. Maybe I won't see you tomorrow. Oh, get happy. I'm like, oh my God, there's going to be another 6 minutes of this. Ah! It was hell. I felt like it was like, that movie was the best simulation of like sleep paralysis, where it's like, I have to get up. I can't get up. I got to get out of this part.
Dude.
Did you watch this at a theater?
No, I just
It's on
watched it
HBO.
at
Oh,
home.
so you could have turned it off.
Yeah, but I committed. I don't like to just willy-nilly, whatever. I committed
to the torture.
I'll turn off a movie if it's bad.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah, I'm with Rocco. I kind of stick it out.
I go into it and I do the classic thing of, I'll get back to this. And I know I never will. But I just say that to myself, like, I'll get back to this.
Sometimes you're watching maybe you're like, how long have I watched this? 40 fucking minutes. You check, it's like you're 18 minutes in. You're like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I'll get on my phone if it sucks.
Yeah.
Then why continue though? Why?
Well, now, because usually Trish is watching.
Oh, okay. Well, if there's a reason, but if you're just by yourself, there's no reason.
True. That's true.
But yeah, it doesn't accomplish anything really. I mean, again, it does that for his character. It kind of takes the power away from that character, and it's more about you're just Arthur, dude. Like, you're not the Joker. You're fucking Arthur. But again, it could have done that. Like, they don't. That is all like said, but all that happens in the movie is he's in his cell. He goes and hears from another witness. Goes back to his cell. At one point, they go back to those fucking steps. Like, oh man, remember what happened here? Man, oh, yeah. Remember when you did that? Yeah. Oh, but you're not the Joker anymore. I'm not the Joker anymore. I'm not the Joker. Kill me. Kill me.
You know, Rocco,
I
again,
think
this.
I think you should have
Done.
turned it off.
Turned it
I
off.
think you should have turned it
What
off.
are you doing?
I wanted to stick it through.
We only have so many minutes on this earth, and if you're not enjoying something, turn that shit
I was on
off.
break. I was on break. I'm
Maybe
watching.
it had a banger ending. You know, he didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Did it have a banger ending?
I could tell you the ending, but
You know what? I'm probably not going to see this
Go
movie.
ahead.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Hey,
Tell
if
us.
you
Man,
care
are you
about
ready
this
for this
movie,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna tell. Sorry, everyone, if I'm spoiling the ending.
Just turn speakers down.
But he goes back to his cell again, and everyone like Harley Quinn doesn't want to be with him anymore because he's like, no, you're not the Joker after all. You're just Arthur. The prison guards. It's vague to what happened, but it looks like they're so fed up with him that they like assault him. But it's
Epstein
like
his ass.
But it's
This
like-
is my question.
Yeah.
I heard the Joker gets like SA'd in the
Yeah.
movie.
so the guards take him back one night because he was such a little stinker in the courtroom.
What are they
fucker,
like?
yeah.
Well,
Broomstick him or
he
something?
blows
What the
up the
fuck?
court.
This is what I'm wondering. Like, what do they do to him?
Yeah.
He escapes from the courtroom at one point and he goes to visit those fucking steps.
Okay.
Does he really?
Yeah,
He gets
that's what
out.
I'm saying.
goes
He
to
meets
the
Harley
steps.
there. He meets Harley there, and she's like, "You know what? I heard in the courtroom. I saw you. You're not the Joker. You're just Arthur. You're not like Joker enough. So I'm not interested in you. Oh no, my girl's not interested in me.
She's not his psychiatrist like in the comics.
No,
She's an inmate.
She's another
too?
inmate.
Okay.
And so the guards take him back. Oh no, they're taking me back to the prison. And then the guards are like, we're so
doing to my
yeah.
ass?
They're playing with my butthole.
Pulling my pants down.
They asked honey or jelly.
my shit in.
No, but anyway, so the guards are like, we're so fed up with you, fucking Joker, that they bring him to a cell. But it's not really vulgar, but they do throw him down. They like pull his pants down and push him down on the ground, and then it cuts to the next day, and he's like in the cell, like
Oh.
curled up. I mean, that's
They pull his pants down?
yeah.
Oh,
They pull his
that's
pants down and
terrible.
throw him on the ground.
Don't do that to poor
So it could
Joaquin.
just be that they beat him up or harass, but I think it was worse.
So I was
And-
reading a Reddit thread about this where they were debating if he was sexually assaulted or
Yeah.
not. And at the guy who posted there was like, I don't think that's what happened because
Yeah.
they don't show that happening. And then
Yeah.
it was like, they edited it after the thread has 4 million posts. It's like,
right.
okay, guys, after reading this thread, it is pretty clear that he was sexually assaulted in that
Oh,
scene.
man.
And I do believe that's what happened. So is that your takeaway as well?
Yeah, I don't see why they would have done all that if like
They're not just, like, pantsing him and
They
laughing.
strip him down, they knock him to the ground and then step over him and it cuts and it's like, well, yeah, what else are they?
Yeah.
I think that's what's going on.
Oy.
But anyway, so then all that happens. They do. I don't know. They give him medication again or whatever, and he's walking to his cell. He's watching on TV like, oh, they got the Joker again. He's like, damn, now I'm on TV. Oh, that's not good. Whatever he sings, and then he goes back to his cell, and then one guy in the prison is like, hey, are you Arthur? Yeah. Oh, I saw you on TV. I'm your biggest fan, and I like the Joker. I wish you blah blah blah. I thought that was cool. You did all that. Oh, okay. But you know what? Someone taught me once. You get what you fucking deserve. And he stabs him over and over again. The dude stabs
Joaquin.
Joaquin
Oh.
over and over again and kills him.
Shanked
and
him.
then it just shows his dead body on the ground while in the background that guy is going. I think it's kind of implying that Arthur inspired the real Joker. Like this guy is acting like the crazy Joker. You know
That's
what I
Joe
mean?
Cool.
Oh, so
like-
he's the Joker.
Like maybe this is the comic book Joker.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Or
mean,
anyone could be the Joker.
yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, I guess that's the message. But they hang on his dead body for what feels like 20 minutes as he's just bleeding out on the ground, and then credits. And then that's how.
Real
that's how-
fun movie.
But
Yeah.
it was a great ending to me because I see him bleeding out, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to sing anymore. Yes. Anyway, it just felt like an endless nightmare. It felt like I couldn't get out. It felt longer to me than, we watched the Snyder Cut that one time for Movie Club.
Yeah.
And that was literally 4 hours. This felt longer to me than that.
It's crazy how a good movie goes by so fast and a bad movie just fucking slogs on indefinitely.
Yeah.
Forever.
How not enjoying a movie makes it seem longer.
Yeah.
And then it's 2.5 hours to begin with. Jesus.
Yeah.
Must have felt like 3 days.
When I saw Gladiator 2, I mean, that was another one that was 2.5 hours. And I sat down and saw that like, oh, fuck.
Nosferatu was 2.5 hours.
But Gladiator 2 wasn't like a masterpiece or anything. But like when it ended, I was like, oh shit, that was 2.5 hours? Okay.
Wicked was 2 hours and 40 minutes.
No,
Everyone's
Oh my
doing
God,
it. I
yeah.
used to
Too
be
much.
into it. If you guys remember,
I remember.
Yeah.
I am not anymore, man.
Okay, he's come. He's changed. He's
My
grown.
My time has grown more valuable as there's less of it now.
Well, it seems like the movies are getting worse and at the same time longer. That they have less to say and they're taking longer to say it. And I'm just like, what are we doing?
Yeah, I was saying about at the end of the year, everyone always kind of ranks. You go on social media, people are saying, "Oh, my favorite movie of the year was this. Favorite game of the year was that."
Yeah.
Todd
and Aaron.
They do it the best. No, but and I post that stuff too. And yeah, when it came to movies, I was like, I don't know. I felt like I saw a lot of good stuff through the year.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like I saw like anything great. Like I felt like I saw, that was cool. That was cool.
yeah, when I thought
But
about
I
my
didn't-
favorites of 2024,
Yeah, it was
nothing
like-
in any category really jumped out. It was I guess that.
Which, by the way, actually, I wanted to say something about that. This is another thing that bothered me over the break, and you guys tell me if I'm being ridiculous here.
Yes.
Okay.
But you ever do something and you're like new pet peeve unlocked, like something just like that fucking drives me insane. I don't know what this is. It drives me nuts. It's really not a big deal. I'm admitting it. I sound like a baby here, but when everyone like ranks shit at the end of the year, my favorite, whatever. I actually like when, like if you guys were to post that, my favorite movie of the year was this. I like seeing my friends' favorite stuff. I like seeing, people I follow and people I know. I like seeing that. But that fucking Obama, he was president, remember him?
Oh, I think I recall him.
Dude, every year when he posts his favorite thing, I fucking hate that shit.
Why?
Let me tell you why. It's one thing to say, here are my favorite things from the year.
Okay.
But when this fucking dope does this, he posts 30 things.
Yeah.
That I don't know why it drives me nuts.
It's
Here's
my
my favorite movie.
favorite.
Here's my favorite movies of 2024. And it's 30 movies. That's just what you saw this year. These aren't favorites.
I get the impression too, because I saw those lists and I was like, you didn't put this list together. This to me feels like your staff said, hey, these are the best movies that we think you should endorse this year.
Yeah,
These are the most
people that
popular.
Because I think when he puts it out there, it's seen by everyone, and they look in like, I haven't seen that movie, and they watch those movies based on him. He's like Oprah, like this is the Obama Club.
He's the new Oprah.
It really feels like a kind of a corporate entity, like consensus. Like we all agree these should be your picks.
Yeah.
I don't think he's there like scrolling through his fucking phone notes being like, oh yeah, I did like this. All right. Because it's all like photoshopped too and presented with graphic design like really well.
it's so
It's just so easy to avoid that. I don't know how that could bother you. Like,
Anyone who has,
how do you see it?
a status that high in our society is going to have fully curated social media platforms.
It'd be way more effective if it's just a straight up tweet. Like it looks handwritten,
Like
Yeah.
Kojima does
fucking
it.
Like Kojima,
misspelled.
exactly.
Yeah, that feels authentic.
actually he posted an image this year too of like favorite. He did a Photoshop thing.
He did a thing.
Yeah, he did.
Well, sometimes they have these like sites auto generate that stuff.
Oh,
and
but
just
now you're
plug it
making
all in.
excuses. Before
No,
you
they
were annoyed with
made their-
Obama,
no,
with
he-
Kojima, it's fine. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
No, but anyway, I see all kinds of people do it. I think Obama set this trend where it's like, oh, here's the list of things I enjoyed this year. If you list 30 movies, did you see more than 30? Did you see more? Like, what's not making that list? Anyway, so I always like to see one, but when it's 30, I don't know why that drives me nuts. Yes. A list of things you did.
Narrow it down.
And even worse is when it's concerts. My favorite concerts I went to in
Oh, yeah.
2024. If you list one, I'm like, I didn't know Maroon 5 had a good show. That's good. But
They
when
don't.
when it's 20, it's like you went. That's everything you did. That's not a favorite list. Anyway,
There's no point in sharing a favorite concert because what am I supposed to do with that information?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I go back in fucking time and
Yeah.
go see that concert?
I should have seen 50 Cent at the Chula Vista Amphitheater.
That's just a flex. That's just a look what I did this year. Aren't you jealous?
yeah.
I think all of that is kind of a little bit of a flex. I never make those posts.
I-
I don't do the Spotify lists or
Yeah.
the generate.
Well,
I don't like any of that.
I
It's
like
chain letter shit.
I like
don't know.
posting that stuff because I ideally will get other people kind of responding with, here's what I liked. And then I get to be exposed to stuff that
Yeah.
is kind of like recommended, like, because now they know what I like and they can be
that's
like,
cool. That's
hey, this speaks to me. This is what I think. And they kind of throw, so maybe I'll discover stuff that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sharing like, this is the best restaurant I ate at. Well, maybe if you got
I
a
do-
restaurant
This is
recommendation.
my
hit me
favorite
with it.
wrestling
I
match.
do
Yeah.
that.
Well,
like
I would do that.
Yeah.
I do that kind of facetiously. Best thing I ate this year, and it's like some chicken at this one place. You know what I mean? But I'm not
Yeah.
like serious. But I should just list 30 restaurants next year. And it's everywhere I ate.
everywhere I ate.
McDonald's.
Yeah. Gotta go Mickey D's.
Yeah, on Blue Sky, I listed my favorite horror books from the year, and I got like 500 replies of
wow.
recommendations. I was like, this is fucking dope.
Yeah,
Like, now I got kind of a personally curated list of shit to sift through. So I enjoyed that.
I could see that. That's cool. I guess more or less like I have so much time to fill when we are on camera. I like to share that stuff like on the
Yeah.
PPS or on here and have a discussion
You have a
about it.
platform.
Yeah, I don't ever like sit there and like tweet it out. I think just because it's like,
Yeah, we're
I'm
fortunate.
gonna save this to talk about it.
Because
on
some
a- on a
people
show.
I see who I know,
Yeah.
they like I feel like they're screaming to like the void. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they'll post something and they'll get no feedback from it at all. And we're just fortunate where we can post
Very
anything
fortunate.
and
Yeah.
get some
Yeah.
feedback on that.
I forget that sometimes.
Yeah,
But I
you-
think, my preferred way is like, I'd rather like talk about it and be able to expound upon those ideas and stuff. I don't think that's the right word.
Yeah. I'm
You're
fucked up in the sense that I like to declare things and then walk away.
Yeah.
I go on Twitter. Yeah, best game of the year,
Also-
Indiana Jones. Bye.
Yeah, I think the last thing I'm looking for on social media is feedback because it's like,
Sure.
no thanks.
Which, by the way, that did happen. Snuck in at the end of the fucking year, but that Indiana Jones game 3 weeks before the year ended, and I
know.
was like, this game rules. So,
And it
anyway,
made it still into Todd and Aaron's video game
It
awards.
did. Best
which
indie game.
I think my favorite thing was the Patreon exclusive jokes. And I think maybe we should talk about our Patreon while we're there and then go into Todd and Aaron. I don't know how you guys feel. We've been going for a while now. Haven't hit the plugs.
Yeah, real quick, everybody, if you like our show and you like what we do, and again, as Derrick mentioned, big year for us at Mega64, pivotal year, and we're trying all kinds of new stuff. Check out patreon.com/Mega64, and we've got a whole bunch of new stuff headed your way there. But over the break, we did release, there's an, our Todd and Aaron's Game of the Year Awards video that we do every year. There's extended stuff from that on
This is
Patreon.
always my favorite thing.
Yeah. It's the jokes that didn't make it. Maybe a bit that went on a little long. It's all there. Things that were cut out and whatnot.
You
are
know,
all there.
I will say too, we did launch a Discord server.
Yeah.
Exclusive access to it through the Patreon. And
Yeah.
I think we should get Rocco to commit to doing a Joker 2 watch along
Yeah.
on
Fuck
Discord.
that shit.
The
I think you
Discord
should do
stage.
it.
I appreciate our patrons.
Hey,
not that much.
We did Hot Frosty.
We
Yeah,
did
we
Hot
had
Frosty.
Frosty.
Yeah,
Hot
cool.
Frosty.
Oh, 90. Laugh at a bad movie for 90 minutes. You can't let Joker is absent of
Okay,
laughs.
Come
what if we
on.
play it at twice the speed?
Come on.
What if you have Garrett watch it with you?
You could point out to the people exactly what you don't like.
You can sing along.
I just
I'm
don't.
so
I just don't
sad.
know if there's anything I like enough that I would do that.
All right,
for
listen.
that.
Okay. I would like to do a Joker 2 watch along
Yeah.
on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you could find the time to be there, cool.
Yeah.
And if you need to step away to scream into the void or whatever,
Yeah. It's come and go.
you have that option.
I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I used the stage over the break to paint miniatures, painting figures and stuff. It was great. Shared the stage with a bunch of other painters. That Hot Frosty thing we did was super
That was
fun.
so much fun.
You guys did a live record club the other day.
We did do it live
The
on Discord.
The Discord is really cool. If you're looking for extra community, join at any tier on our Patreon, and you get access to our brand new.
And
Discord.
I have a feeling somebody might be there
Check
for
it
the,
out.
for the watch along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We'll figure that out.
I'll watch anything. Let's watch the fucking Godfather. How about
No,
that?
well, that's you like
No,
that.
nobody
Hello?
wants to watch
But then
that.
you could, oh, damn, a good movie.
We're
Rats.
trying to give
No,
you
because then
Terrifier 3. That's not the
You
same.
can't talk through a good movie.
I
That-
can. This is the.
No, I know
this
you.
is the
I know you
best.
could, but it's more
No.
fun. It's more fun to talk
You
through a
should have
bad
stayed
movie.
home.
I did. I mentioned this before, but I recorded a commentary with my mom and dad on
Yeah,
that movie
I remember.
because I was like, I want people to hear what it's like every Thanksgiving when we put that on, and it is the whole commentary. Oh, this scene coming up. Yeah, now this is the scene right here. Oh yeah, look.
That's
at
like
that.
Arnold
That's great.
Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
commentary on Total Recall.
Yeah, it is. It was seriously. It was the Italian version of Arnold's commentary on Total Recall. It was. This is the best right here. It's so
Doing
good.
Sponge upon.
We did a watch along for Hot Frosty back before the break. We're not going to post that anywhere because we can't legally. But that's what's kind of special about it. You know, it's an event that happened. You had to be there to experience
Yeah.
it. It was
Yeah.
fun for the community. If you missed it, that's a shame, but you don't want to miss the next one because
Yeah.
we'll probably be doing Joker 2 or Terrifier 3.
Oh,
Sean,
And by the
I'd
end of
love
Hot
to show it to
Frosty,
you.
there was nothing left to say.
No.
I think I stopped watching the movie and I stopped talking and we were just posting
GIFs.
memes and
Yeah.
GIFs
in the
in
Discord.
the Discord.
That was so fun.
Just wishing for fucking Hot Frosty to be killed.
Once we all realized the ability to post GIFs, I think we all collectively, like all 300 of us watching, were just like,
It just became a group
it was
chat.
so fucking funny.
yeah,
though.
where we weren't even saying, we were just group chatting with each other about how much we hated the fucking movie. And it was actually really fun.
It was really funny.
It was a
yeah.
good time.
But yeah, sign up for our Patreon if you want to support us. There's going to be a lot of new stuff, new content, new ideas and approaches to content that we're planning for the Patreon. It's super excited. I would also like to promote our MLK stream, which is coming up.
Yeah, right around the corner.
And I have questions for you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe you can answer this live on camera.
Okay.
How are we going to start the MLK stream? Because it used to be we did the podcast on Sunday and it would roll right into it.
Yeah.
Have we even discussed this?
I think what the plan was just to start it at a random point late Sunday night, but not roll it in not like usually it would be a podcast and we would just go. This is not going to be that, I don't think.
I mean, it always started late at night anyway.
yeah, they always start like at midnight,
Yeah.
right? It's usually you and Kevin here doing something.
Some kind of David Hyde activity.
Yeah. I will say that the things that are planned for this MLK, we have never done or tried before. And we are going to.
Yeah,
I think we should tell the people what we're planning.
We're really
so they
outside
have
the
plenty
box.
of time to prepare.
Okay,
and
I'm
get
ready.
for it.
I am ready.
Yeah, that's
I am
great.
All right.
ready.
For this MLK stream, we are
Well-
going to do.
Can I preface just
Please
real quick?
say whatever you want.
For those who don't know, just in case you might be a new fan, we got a lot of new fans over the fall. We did these kind of big streams and people came out for it. If you're a new fan, we don't normally talk about this. This is the only reason I want to preface it is we don't always talk about this week of streams, but whenever it's MLK Day, that week, it was a tradition started how many years ago? I don't even know at this
more
point,
than
12,
more
13
than
years
10.
ago.
Yeah.
Sure.
That we
Definitely.
just we started streaming that day and went for 24
As
hours.
long as we want.
And then it became a week. Like every year we just stream and there's no plan. Usually is no plan. It's just like weird impulse stuff streamed through the week. Bizarre things at weird hours of the night.
Yeah.
The stream just never ends the whole week. That's how it's been in the past. This year will be our weirdest, I think.
We're going to do something different this year. We're going to do a bit of a social experiment, kind of like the Stanford prison experiment.
Yeah.
We have constructed a single room. We've built it ourselves. It has one door leading in and out of it.
Correct.
One of us, who is not a Joker 2 fan, is going to be trapped in that room for the duration of the entire stream.
Yes.
They will not be allowed to leave. They will not be allowed to get food. We will be delivering food to them.
Right.
And the people at home, we are devising ways where the people at home will be able to fuck with them for the duration of the stream.
That's the real goal there, is the ability for you to interact and quote unquote fuck with the Joker hater.
What were you going to say? I feel like you were gonna say something.
They will be, whoever this person may be, will be in the room until racism is over.
They're not leaving until that.
Is that a promise?
Well, that's a bold claim. I don't know if we're actually capable of doing that, but we're going to see.
Well, I'm tired of people being complacent.
We're going to see.
Someone's got to put it on the line.
Yeah, I also will say that if the chat is wondering, like, bathroom situation, that door leads to a bathroom.
That one door
He can
does go to
he
a
can go to the
bathroom.
bathroom, but everything else he cannot do.
But we're going to be relying on you to make sure, those bathroom trips don't last too long. One number 2 a day.
One a day.
A few number 1s.
So,
We'll limit the liquids.
you
so
know,
maybe he doesn't
right
go as
off
often.
camera here, you can't see it, but Garrett has actually built the room. We got 4 walls here. We're going to be installing cameras, and Rocco's going to be in the isolation chamber live
Oh,
on
it's me?
live
you.
I
on
just gotta figure it
camera
out.
for all of you at home to watch.
Yeah.
And we're going to see how long you can stay in there without losing your sanity.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous for. I keep being the one like, I want to like fuck with Rocco in a fun way. I don't want to like scar Rocco.
Sure,
So
yeah,
how
of
do we walk this line?
Sean's been working really hard to like make it cozy for
Yeah. Well, yeah.
you.
And Derek's kind of working in the opposite direction to try to like make
Push
it
me, pull you.
two
situation.
polarities.
a barren, resourceless kind of cube.
I think Rocco is the type of guy, he doesn't need much. He could do a lot with a little. He could become cozy in a lot of
Right.
situations, I think.
And truth be told, I have seen what it takes to survive in a prison cell. I'm gonna be stuck here. Anyway, sorry. I don't mean to keep subjecting you to that.
But yeah, my question is when is that stream going to start? You're saying Sunday around midnight?
Sunday, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right. Maybe the second.
when Monday hits.
When the second Monday hits, we will begin or something like that. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
That's true. And we've really gone over this a lot, and we're still coming up with new ideas, and the whole team here has been involved. And we're trying to keep it tied to MLKs of the past. So it's not drastic in this brand new experiment that we're bringing you. Like, it's a different change, but I think that same sense of community for everyone hanging out all week in the chat is going to be there. I think you're going to see some interactive ways for us to fuck with Rocco that might be recognizable from past MLK.
And we're going to have a timer. And we're going to come up with a way for people at home to extend that timer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're not coming out of that room until the people let you out,
Yeah.
essentially.
Okay.
or racism is over. Like whichever
One of the
comes
two.
first.
I don't think we should put that. No, racism could last. You're staying in the room.
That's a personal.
I had a goal. And
We could end racism, but if they don't want you to leave the room, you got to stay in the room.
that's fair.
Yeah, it could be a couple of jokers.
Are
in the
you
chat.
are you prepared to stay in that room for as long as people keep you in there? I mean, it could go beyond 1 week.
Yeah.
It could be 2.
Could be 17 years.
It could be 2 or 3 weeks.
You could be like Blast from the Past with Brendan Fraser in that bunker. You could be just like Brendan Fraser.
Just like him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be in the whale mode. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, how long? What do you think your limit is?
I mean, I have no idea. I don't even.
I'm nervous.
I literally don't know.
I'm nervous too, because this is kind of a grand experiment we're
we'll-
about to cast.
We'll
but
figure it out. It's funny because
you have any plans on the horizon? Like anything in February?
I feel like I'm more stressed about this than Rocco is. I keep thinking like all this stuff, and he's like,
I'm really
not-
good. I'm
it's
really
fine.
good at not thinking about big stuff that I should be. You
Oh,
know what
okay.
I mean? Like,
Put it in the back of your mind.
oh, this could be really bad. Yeah.
Do you think you could do 24 hours in the room?
Oh yeah, 24 hours. I
Okay.
Could you do 72 hours?
I mean, I stayed awake for 72 hours once, like for a project we did, and that was like a hell I don't wish on anyone. not that I would be necessarily
You're not gonna be awake.
I mean, you can
sleep.
sleep.
right.
Well,
but,
if they let them.
but I'm just saying, still, like being in any situation 3 days is a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean, I hope I could do it.
Okay, so doesn't even know if we could do 3 days.
I think I could.
What? All right, MLK traditionally is 1 week. Could you do 7 days in one room,
Yeah.
live on camera the whole time?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
We have figured out some bathing alternatives that we can incorporate into some of like
Bathing
maybe towards day 4, day 5.
I don't expect he's gonna be bathing whatsoever.
Well, I think
I
like
don't think so.
maybe we figure out some sponge bath kind of situations.
I'm good. Thank you.
No, there's got to be challenges. We gotta figure out how to make it interesting. You got to feed you to.
I'll feed him.
Now, Johnny kept suggesting we get a reptile handler to come in with some animals.
some entertainment for him.
Yeah, to entertain you.
He's not gonna do this. This.
Yeah, you're really not selling me
I
on
think-
this idea.
I think
Oh,
we're
my
told
scar
that-
hurt.
I don't know. I can't see the chat. I don't know if they're hype or not, but don't worry, it's not happening because Rocco is gonna bail.
I think-
we say snake and that fucker's gone.
Every time I
I'm
laugh
good.
or smile
One thing.
too big, I feel like I'm going to bust the stitch in my
no.
nose. It hurts too bad. That's what Johnny was suggesting. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to have to find somebody to come in and entertain you.
Yeah. They didn't like my suggestion of
I can
a
entertain
porta
myself.
potty in the room as well.
No, it's stink for everyone.
I think it's just fun. It would only stink the more you use it, and then that's
Well,
on
he's
you.
gonna use it.
That's on him.
We're not going to do a reptile handler, just to be
Imagine a
clear.
porta
Or a
potty.
porta potty.
Or
yeah.
a porta potty.
Well, we've figured it all out though, and we're really excited to bring this to you guys as this is something really new for us.
Yeah.
So MLK stream. So when should people tune in for that? Because we want them to be there right from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Stay tuned Sunday night. It's not this Sunday. It's
The next Sunday.
the Sunday the 19th. Don't go to bed that night. As soon as it's midnight here in California, I think you could expect to see something probably around then.
Okay.
So
Okay. Great.
I'm presuming though. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit at the mercy.
That's going to be
of
3
whatever.
a.m. on the East Coast.
Mhm.
yeah.
You got to take a nap in the afternoon over there. This is a special event. You should take a nap around 2 p.m. Wake up right in time.
Would it be better if we started it like the Monday morning, just so everybody's there?
Ah.
We could do that.
You know,
Beginning of the work week, everyone's fucking off in their cubicle,
I mean,
watching YouTube.
3
Yeah.
a.m. on the East Coast, people are going to be missing that very beginning when it's fresh, you know?
That is something we
That's
do need
true.
to think about.
That's true.
Yeah. What does the chat say, Johnny? Do they have any preference of when we started it?
Not currently.
Do you want to put a little poll? Should we start at midnight or should we start in the morning on the Monday?
You know
right.
what? If you're watching this, leave a comment, because this is going to get uploaded to YouTube.
yeah, we
That's
still got
true.
time
That's
to
true.
figure this
So
out.
leave a comment, you know, give us your thoughts, however you want. Tweet at us, whatever. You don't need to put it in the chat right now. Just leave a message for us somewhere. We'll gauge the response out there.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, that's pretty much it, right? Is there anything you want to cover? I feel like we've learned a lot today.
Our Todd and Aaron video came out New Year's Eve.
Yes.
I'm always so happy to see when people share with me how those videos are like part of their New Year's tradition.
Yeah, I love that too.
Like, oh, I'm not going to watch it now because we're having a New Year's thing tonight. And me and my friends always watch that right before midnight hits. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You know?
Yeah.
So that was fun.
And again, the outtakes are on Patreon. I will say that we wrote one joke and it wasn't even for the Patreon. It was for only Kevin, because Kevin is always in the merch room and always doesn't know what we're going to do and just hears it live for the first time. Like, let's just do one that's only for Kevin. So there was an exclusive only Kevin joke that only he got.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are all on Patreon.
What
and,
joke was that? I don't even know.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to say.
I wouldn't have even brought that up, but that's okay.
I'm not going to say what the joke was.
He's-
It was
Yeah,
for
but now
Kevin.
everyone's going, oh, what was the joke? What was the joke? You opened
You know
Pandora's
what?
box.
Just like my chocolate
fun
Twinkie
here.
idea, you'll never know.
Yeah. It's just
Some things are best left to the imagination.
Sean is excellent at the let me half tell you about something.
I love
Jangle a
that. You
carrot.
don't
What
like
was the
that?
chocolate Twinkie idea again? Why didn't you? I don't remember why you didn't say that.
Well,
See, now they're asking that
it's
too.
too perverted. Oh, I think it's racist actually.
it's, you know what? Whatever it is, it'll never be said. And it's fun to have that. Isn't that fun?
For you.
Yeah.
I think what you were trying to say is we have fun here. We make Kevin laugh.
We do a joke for Kevin.
For
And you
20
can see
years,
that.
you've been hearing what's the finger bang story. So if you want to keep things like that going, that's up to you.
I told the story at game days. I told the story.
Did you?
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told the story.
Yeah.
So I don't
that's
know what
right.
you want from me.
It is out
It's
there.
been out there.
Did you?
Go
I
us.
don't
Yeah, I
remember
did.
that.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I don't know what you want from me.
I heard that. I was there for that.
Thank you. You were there. Everyone was there.
It's about him.
So when they go to Patreon, are they going to know the Kevin joke when they see it?
No, because
No,
it's not.
it's
It's not.
not
It wasn't
in
even
there. We didn't
recorded.
record it.
It wasn't even recorded. It was just a joke to see if we
But
got
now we're having a whole conversation about it.
So we're promoting a joke that wasn't recorded. It's not
that's
available.
what I'm saying.
I'm promoting the Patreon, but just saying, isn't it fun that we did an extra joke just for Kevin? Isn't that fun?
It's so fun.
And then
I don't
people
even
go,
know what the
"What's-
joke is."
Yeah, what's the joke? And you cannot.
I will
appropriate.
never say. And it wasn't even like it's offensive or anything like that. I just won't say it because it was just made for Kevin and not anyone else. Isn't he lucky?
Kevin, are you laughing in there? Yeah, I can hear him.
Can we,
Yeah,
can
he's
we
dying.
Kevin?
Seriously.
Kevin doesn't
remember
Kevin
the
doesn't
joke?
even know.
He doesn't know what we're talking
No.
about. And neither do they. Good night.
Great conversation.
I just wanted to put my little stamp on this episode. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Stay tuned for the post-show clarity.
And Derrick, I'm glad you're doing all right.
Yeah, man. Happy that
I just
you're
want to know the joke at
healed
this
up.
point. I'm just
All right.
confused.
I'll tell you later.
All right.
knock knock.
If Kevin can't tell you, I'm not saying it again. I was a one and done for me. So I guess it goes away now. Goodbye, everyone. We'll see you next week. Johnny, I was going to say fade us out, but no, fuck that. Play that song.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Good boo.